Guys, good to be with you on a Tuesday. Welcome to the program. My name is Jerry Miller. Good afternoon. We're live in Charlottesville, the Commonwealth, the country, and the world on the I Love CVille Network. Preparing for the program, our phone buzzes with storylines that people want us to cover on the program. I love when you guys send me topics for the show. It's one of my favorite things. I have a voracious appetite for reading, but as a group, we're stronger in accumulating and aggregating information. So send me the commentary and the topics you'd like to see in the program, and you'll probably get it on there. My phone was buzzing as I'm prepping for the program from beat writers, guys that work for newspapers, gals that work for TV stations. And I was getting text messages from people, sports writers, two text messages in particular saying this Virginia basketball game for tomorrow against Maine is in jeopardy. And we were talking yesterday how you could watch the Virginia basketball game tomorrow against Maine. It's the season opener for a team that has national championship expectations and is the defending national champion. Well, the way you were going to watch the game is through this Flow Sports streaming service that you were going to have to pay for. And a lot of people were wondering, should I pay for Flow Sports or Flow Hoops, whatever it's called, to watch this opener? Well, the people that did, you may be in trouble because I'm hearing from the sports writers that this matchup for tomorrow against Maine has now been postponed, and Towson is now the team UVA is going to play. We'll talk about that. Guys at the Mohegan Sun continue to text me and give me the updates. We'll see if we can give you more updates on that hoops game with Tony Bennett and Virginia in Maine tomorrow, and whether or not it's going to be played, and whether or not Towson is your new opponent to start the season. Let's put that to a side for now. We've covered on this program how budgets from a Commonwealth standpoint, a federal standpoint, an Albemarle County and Charlottesville standpoint, budgets are in trouble because of COVID. We don't have enough money to run the municipalities, so they're looking for new ways to drive revenue. We've talked about gambling. We've talked about cannabis. Well, folks, the Virginia Lottery says today it's going to issue mobile gambling licenses. So along with brick and mortar casinos coming to Virginia, and we'll know in January who got the brick and mortar green lights, we also will know in January from the Virginia Lottery which players are going to get the mobile licenses to allow gambling through your phone. Penn National is a company that I have a fair amount of money invested in. It's a publicly traded company. Penn National did a joint venture with Barstool Sports, and their joint venture is for an app that's on the phone that you can put wagers through. So the days of a bookie are behind us, and now it's done here. So Virginia Lottery announces today that it's gonna reveal the people that get the mobile gambling licenses in January for a way to drive new revenue for the Commonwealth of Virginia. We'll follow that closely. This is a reality, whether we want to admit it or not. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And it's going to be in the storyline that we're going to cover, that we're going to read about, in the news cycle that we're going to read about, from here until probably early parts of next year, when we're going to figure out who's going to have not only the casinos, but the licenses for mobile betting. Another storyline that I'm following, and Walter Slawski is going to be our guest. He's the owner of the Shebeen and the catering outfit. Walter's a good guy. He's a multi-talented guy. I believe he has a Class A contractor's license. I believe Walter built that deck outside the Shebeen. That deck is marvelous. I mean, you can make a very legitimate argument that the deck, the patio, the veranda in front of the Shebeen, from start to finish, is one of the best outside sitting enjoyment areas for restaurants in Charlottesville. I mean, think about Charlottesville City. Who's got a better deck than Slawski at the Shebeen? Very difficult to make an argument of someone have a better deck than what Walter has at the Shebeen. I mean, you got swings. It's got fans. I believe it's got a cooling unit out there. You can dance out there. You got plenty of outside seating and tables. Great spot to watch the game. You got a full bar outside. He's done a hell of a job. So Walter Slawski is going to join us in about 6-7 minutes on this program to not only talk the Shebeen and the catering outfit, but to talk about a a partnership he's got going on with Panera Bread that I'm excited to talk about on the show. Folks, Cholula Hot Sauce, are you following this story? Is up for grabs. And McCormick and Company, the spices, you know, McCormick, where you go to the grocery store, there's a huge section of spices for cooking at the grocery store. Many of those are McCormick. Well, McCormick and Company has agreed to acquire the parent company of Cholula Hot Sauce for $800 million in cash. $800 million for Cholula. Cholula is banging. One of my favorite hot sauces. $800 million McCormick is going to buy Cholula. McCormick already owns Frank's Red Hot. McCormick also owns French's Mustard. So this is a major player buying Cholula, and it's going to have Cholula and Frank's in the hot sauce category. $800 million for this Mexican hot sauce. I personally like the green one the best. I think the green one is dynamite. I was surprised to see an $800 million deal done for a Mexican hot sauce company. Still, congratulations to Cholula. That is something that I use on breakfast. I use on my eggs. I mean, that hot sauce works for just about every food. It's damn good. $800 million for that bad boy right there. We posted a photo of Mel from Mel's Cafe on Instagram. Judah, do you have that pic? Look at the screen. This photo from our Instagram from Mel in the back of his kitchen. Mel's Cafe is an institution, right? I'd say one of the most institutional restaurants you have here. I mean, you got C&O, of course. I mean, C&O built downtown dining. Sandy McAdams and the C&O, one of the reasons downtown is what it is from a culinary standpoint. C&O is an institution. The Finazzos at Sal's Cafe Italia are turning into an institution themselves. I mean, they own that restaurant. They own that building. Sal's been around for a generation, a real long time. Mel's is an institution. Put the photo back on screen. That's Mel doing his thing, getting ready for Thanksgiving. If you guys want to try some amazing mac and cheese in Charlottesville, give this dude's mac and cheese a whirl. I mean, it is absolutely fantastic. And this dude's smiling next to his turkeys right there, and his mac and cheese platter and his pies. I mean, that's what it's all about. He does it right. Mel's Cafe. You know what? I may try to go there this weekend. They got an outside. You can sit outside. I may try to go there this weekend and enjoy some of his southern cooking. I mean, if you can think of a more institutional restaurant, Mel's, C&O obviously comes to mind. The oldest restaurant in the city of Charlottesville is the Virginian Restaurant, 1923. That's the oldest. Mel's has got to be there as well. I should get Mel on this show and just have him tell a story or two or three. Have you ever heard Mel tell? He's a hell of a storyteller. Have you been to this restaurant? It's pretty darn good. I'm getting text messages now from a couple of the beat writers. This Virginia basketball game looks like it's going to get against Maine. Looks like this thing is going to be postponed or canceled, and Towson is the opponent. In fact, did Bennett Conlon just put something on Twitter about this, Judah? Can we get that? Did you see it on Twitter? Look at that. Did tomorrow's UVA men's basketball game get canceled? Put it on screen. Matt Norlander put that on screen. Can you put that on screen for us, Judah? All right, it's on screen now. It's one of our headlines. Look at the screen now. So evidently, UVA is playing Towson. Imagine if you were Towson and you find out that the first game of the season is against the defending national champions, and you found out today and the game is tomorrow. We'll see if we can get confirmation on that. I don't see any of the media outlets reporting it yet, but the beat writers are texting me, and Matt Norlander of CBS Sports just put this tweet out there. So maybe it's the case. I'm going to reach out to Walter Slawski now, see what's going on at the Shebeen, the catering outfit, see what he thinks with restaurants moving forward. Walter's one of the good guys in the business. I've been really impressed with all the innovation they have done at the catering outfit and at the Shebeen. We got to support our businesses, our restaurants, now more than ever. They need us. And a couple items I want to get out of the notebook before we reach out to Walter, Judah, is we'll talk the winner of the Washington-Dallas football game on Thanksgiving Day, 4:30 kickoff. Dallas is a 3-point favorite. The winner of that football game is in first place in the NFC East. Think about that. That shows how bad the East is. Walter Slawski on the line now, Judah Wickhauer. Judah Wickhauer is our director. Walter, if we can get you to turn that camera on so we can see you. And
Certainly.
then we'll have some fun here on the program. There we go. Hey, you got a haircut.
How are you?
You're looking good. You get a haircut?
Well, it's either cut or disappearing. I'm not sure.
You look good, dude. You look freshly groomed. How are you, Walter?
I'm good. I mean, I'm pretty good, all things considered.
Yeah?
Yeah, how about yourself?
I'm doing well. Thanksgiving. Getting families in town. It's a short week. How about an open-ended question? Open-ended question. Talk to us about the catering outfit first. What's going on with your catering brand?
So, we're scrambling to figure stuff out. Last weekend, we had a number of events canceled with the new governor's ordinances. And so our book of business is looking pretty slim from now until about March when things are going to really crank up. So in the meantime, we've been developing new products. So one of those products we actually created for QIM. They were doing Zoom happy hours. And so we were doing happy hour boxes that we delivered to 30 different houses, and then they Zoom. And they have sort of a unique experience where everybody's having the same food and cocktails. And so that's sort of been the brainchild for what we're doing for the UVA Children's Center.
That's brilliant, dude.
Thank you.
That is absolutely brilliant. So QIM, the hedge fund.
Yes.
So they're doing happy hours and everyone's enjoying the same food and drink. I mean, that's a great idea right there.
Yeah, it's a really cool idea.
So how do you scale that? You're going to do it for the Children's Hospital too?
We are. Yep. I think for that one, we will be doing pickup only unless somebody wants to pay to have it delivered. So they'll be able to pick it up at the catering outfit. And this new series is going to be called Game Day Boxes. And so this one, we're going to launch on December 12th for the UVA Virginia Tech game. And it's going to be game day food.
That's awesome, Walter. What'd you make of the governor's announcement?
It was tough. I mean, very, very little notice. So, we already had product in-house and rentals bought in and staffing bought in. But, we're rolling with the punches. I thought that the restaurant restrictions that they put into place were fairly reasonable, and they didn't really affect Shebeen's current model very much. But on the catering side, it was really hard, particularly given that Charlottesville is a shining example. The Charlottesville Alamo is a shining example in the state of Virginia as far as how we can operate safely. We just got through the fall where we had a fair amount. We had an uptick in tourism. The students came back. We probably catered between September and October. We probably catered somewhere between 15 and 25 weddings. Granted, they were on a smaller scale than they have been in the past. And we did it all safely, with COVID and social distancing measures in place. And so it was disappointing to get that message on a Friday with 2 days we had poor brides having to cancel. We had Kappa Sig National was doing their Champions Weekend in town. And so it was a painful financial experience, to be sure, particularly going into the winter already. So, but again, these boxes and other things that we're doing, hopefully will replace some of that revenue and, keep the catering outfit and Shebeen, front of mind for people who are spending money.
You guys are doing that. I've been so impressed of how you guys have innovated. Everybody has been. Walter, you're really leading an impressive team here. What do you make of this period of time between now and the vaccine? I mean, these are the tough times to get over. What do you make of this gap we got to bridge, Walter?
I mean, that's really the proving ground for, I think, all of us in the food service business. Particularly with the government on vacation, and there doesn't seem to be any movement towards additional small business relief. we're waiting to hear back from, the governor relaxed the criteria for the Rebuild Virginia grant. So we were able to apply for that because initially we were unable to based on the size of our organization and the number of employees we had. But they're backed up. So we're waiting to hear if, there's any grant money. But again, it's just all about innovation and I actually just met with Toast. Shebeen's been kind of late to the game as far as getting an online ordering presence. I know we've discussed before on your show that we're going to, go more of a sports bar or bar kind of concept with Shebeen. And so as I redevelop that menu now, I expect to roll that out within the next 2 weeks. It'll be more designed for takeout and to go like everybody's doing. And I think that's the future. Sorry about the noise.
No problem. You're running a business. You're getting props on the boxes. Jamie Schwartz is giving you props. She says she cannot wait for the Hanukkah boxes to come.
Yeah, it's on my list of things. The boxes are really becoming a thing, and Kelly Jackson from Panera is sort of the brainchild behind doing this fundraiser for the UVA Children's Center, and Panera is actually putting product in the box with us. And the boxes are $65, and some of the proceeds of that will go back in donation to the UVA Children's Center. I hope to be able to do this maybe for every basketball game, and maybe around Valentine's Day and New Year's. I do have a brunch box that I developed that I haven't put out there for market yet. So there's a lot of applications for these things. We did a brisk business, or we're doing a brisk business in Thanksgiving boxes to go. Yeah.
You have multiple people, including Grace, who watches this show routinely in Richmond, that are impressed with what's behind you. Multiple people are asking what is behind you here. Is that a spice rack behind you?
Yeah, so that's the spice. That's where we keep all of our spices for the catering outfit. If you can see that.
Very nice, Walter.
Yeah. Thank you.
Walter is looking sharp here. He's got the Skype background looking good, and he's getting props. He's got a well-manicured beard, and he's wearing a nice holiday sweater. He's looking sharp here. Walter, my friend, let me throw this question to you. This one's coming in as well. Do you think if we can get out of this, and we love your brand, we love to support you, we love to have beer on your patio, you have a restaurant that's set up safely for COVID at the Shebeen. He's got one of the best outside settings out there. Do you think if we get out of this and we make it to the other side here, obviously some are gonna fall, but the ones that survive are gonna get so much more market share. Is that the plan here, Walter?
I would assume so. I think there's going to be a lot of, relatively inexpensive restaurant space. So I think we'll see a lot of new concepts popping up, which is also fun and exciting. But yeah, I think, if we can make it through, and like you said, Shebeen is positioned well with having the parking lot. So curbside pickup is super easy. The veranda is still open, and we are open for indoor dining now. And I think as the news comes out about the vaccines, once the vaccines start hitting the street, I think people's, fear levels may start to decrease, and I think people are itching to get out. So hopefully we have a mild winter and we get some really good vaccination news, and they're able to get those vaccinations out to the public, or at least the people that need them the most. And we just start to see a steady improvement in business.
More questions coming in for you, Walter. You're a popular guy. This is coming from Chris Cummings. He says, please ask Walter what his plans are for the new menu for the Shebeen. Will it still be sports focused? What are his plans as he revamps the menu? That's a good question.
So I've been working hard on it. Right now the Shebeen menu isn't very well set up for delivery and curbside to go. So we're going to expand our wing offerings. We're going to have a really great burger. We're partnering with Mary Beth for bread, heirloom tomatoes, that kind of stuff. Lots of different toppings. We're going to expand our mussels menu and stuff like that. So, comfortable, really well done bar food with a South African flair, if you will, or international flair anyway.
Very nice. This is an interesting question. Do you think this has been your most challenging year as a restaurateur and entrepreneur, Walter?
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the crazy part about it is the catering outfit was expecting a banner year. Our brand keeps gaining more and more attention, and we're getting busier and busier and growing. So it was really, really tough. And then, Courtney Hildebrand, who's our director of sales, has had a hell of a time moving people and accommodating, all of the postponements and rescheduling everything. A huge thank you to 95% of our customers that chose to reschedule their weddings as opposed to cancel. Not only our wedding clients, but also our UBA and corporate clients as well. So I think the sense that everybody's in this together has certainly made it a little bit less painful. But yeah, it's been really challenging.
All right, more questions, and then we'll let you go, Walter. This question's coming in about the wedding business. It seemed like the only industry that was really impacting from the governor's announcements was weddings. Did your colleagues in the wedding industry, what are they saying? What are they hearing? What was their response to the governor's announcement?
I have not spoken to them. I think, unfortunately or fortunately, the governor was really trying to address the Thanksgiving and Christmas gathering. And, prior to the last order, we had an exception for weddings, and there's still some question there about religious gatherings, and does a wedding constitute a religious gathering, et cetera, et cetera. So it's kind of tough to unpack, but yeah, it really, really, really affected us because it didn't affect wineries, it didn't affect restaurants, really. So I think maybe that our sector wasn't really thought about, or maybe it was because the timing, is basically we're at the end of the wedding season for Charlottesville, Albemarle. And so maybe that's why there was such short notice. He waited until he felt like we had gotten through most of the business that was on the books, and felt it was appropriate to do it at that time.
Multiple people, last question for you, Walter. Multiple people are asking about the boxes and how they can get boxes from you guys.
Okay, so I finally figured out our website. A lot of the restaurant POS platforms like Toast, et cetera, have a really hard time dealing with pre-orders, and so that's what I was trying to figure out is how to allow people to order this, give them the information about when it'll be available for pickup, et cetera. So now if you go to our website and go to the shop tab, you can see the boxes there, and disregard the Thanksgiving stuff. I haven't quite finished that, but you can order it directly on there, pay for it, and then when you're ready to pick it up, either on the 11th or the 12th of December, pull up, we'll recognize your car, bring your order out, and put it in the back of your car for you.
Very nice. Walter Slawski, impressive. I wish you the best for Thanksgiving. We will be there, after Thanksgiving to have some beers on the veranda. Thank you for your time today, and wish you the best. Have a good holiday.
Thanks, Jerry. You as well.
All right.
Take care.
You too, Walter. Walter Slawski. I love the box idea. I love the box idea. And Kelly Jackson, nicely done as well with the partnership with Panera. The idea of having a company happy hour via Zoom, and then everybody's eating the same food and drinking the same cocktails, that's cool. That's a little change. That's some innovation for 2020. I love the box idea, and I love what the catering outfit is doing. That brand has really come to the forefront during COVID. I mean, it's getting recognition on the news. It's to go and it's pickup, catering outfit to go. I mean, it's just impressive what that dude is doing. The whole team is doing. Multiple text messages coming in from folks at Mohegan saying this game is not happening. I wish I could have 100% confirmation, but it's looking like this UVA Maine game is not happening, and it's now going to be Towson. I'll try to get confirmation for you by the Daily Digest at 5 o'clock, but the writers, the beat writers are reaching out as we speak. The ACC Tournament's being moved to Greensboro. If you're not watching that, the ACC Tournament was supposed to be in Washington, D.C. If you want to get that on screen, Judah, it's now in Greensboro. This was released from the ACC office about an hour ago. The Atlantic Coast Conference Tournament was supposed to be in D.C. at the Capital One Arena. Now it's in the Greensboro Coliseum, and the change was done because of COVID. The Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. will host the ACC Tournament now in 2024 instead of 2021. I mean, matchups left and right are being canceled for tomorrow. Get the Duke news on screen. Duke basketball and Mike Krzyzewski was opening its season against Gardner Webb. This game has been postponed due to COVID. Now, matchups for Duke, Arizona State, Baylor, Florida, Villanova, and Virginia. Matchups for those teams, games for those teams this week have all been canceled or postponed due to COVID. Virginia, Duke, Arizona State, Baylor, Florida, Villanova, all have been altered, canceled, or postponed due to COVID-19. And we're trying to confirm with you live on air as I'm interacting with the beat writers at the Mohegan Sun. We are hearing that Maine is no longer the opponent for tomorrow. It is Towson. We'll follow this closely. One more item out of the notebook. Washington and the Dallas Cowboys play on Thursday, Thanksgiving, Thursday, 4:30 kickoff on Fox. The Cowboys are a 3-point favorite. It's at Dallas, okay? The winner of this game will be in first place in the NFC East. Think about that. That's how bad this division is. The winner of the Washington football team and the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day, 4:30 kickoff with the Cowboys a 3-point favorite, will be in first place of the NFC East. Think about that. The Eagles are in first right now because they have a tie. That's the reason they're in first. That's how bad this division is. Whew. I wish I could get confirmation for you. I'm working hard to get confirmation on that game for you. I should have it by the Daily Digest. And if I get it before the Daily Digest, I'll hop on air and confirm. But what we're hearing from the beat writers at the Mohegan Sun is the main game is no more for tomorrow, and it's now Towson. If we get confirmation, we'll come back on air on the I Love CVille Network and let you know. I want to thank Walter Slawski for joining us on the program. Tomorrow, Crystal Napier on the show as we get ready for Thanksgiving. We'll be off, obviously, Thursday. We'll let you know the plan for Friday, possibly tomorrow, on this network. We hope you guys keep things local now more than ever. We're going to need it, man. We're going to need it. Just want this year to be behind us. My name is Jerry Miller. It's the I Love CVille Show on a Tuesday afternoon. Join us for the Daily Digest at 5 o'clock. All your news in 5 minutes or less, 5 days a week at 5 o'clock on the I Love CVille Network. Take care.